Have you ever built a piece of furniture and, ended up with that little pile of extra screws? Or maybe you've tried a new recipe that just turned into a complete kitchen disaster. Yeah, we've all been there. And chances are it's not you, it's the instructions. So today we're going to break down the art of the how-to and really unpack the simple, powerful secrets that make instructions actually work. Seriously, just take a second and think about it. From setting your alarm this morning to making coffee, even just navigating to watch this, you've probably already followed dozens of instructions today without even thinking about it. We're all constantly running these little programs that guide our day. Even something as automatic as brushing your teeth, it's a perfect example of a procedure. You don't consciously think through it, but you're following a very precise sequence. Grab the brush, put on the paste, brush for 2 minutes, and then rinse. It's this tiny, perfect little script that you run. What, twice a day? Okay, now let's look at something like this recipe for avocado juice. This is where instructions become a tool for creation, right? They're basically a roadmap that takes us from a bunch of separate ingredients to something totally new and, hopefully, delicious. We're not just following steps here, we're actually making something. And what about something a little more technical, like using an ATM? I mean, the stakes are a bit higher here. One wrong move and, well, you might not get the outcome you were hoping for. But even with something like this, you'll see the exact same underlying structure at play. So, what is this hidden blueprint I keep talking about? Well, it's a really simple but really powerful framework that I promise you're going to start seeing absolutely everywhere once you know what you're looking for. And this framework actually has a name. Procedure text. I know it might sound a little academic, a little textbooky, but it's really just the official term for instructions. And as you can see, the definition is beautifully simple. Its whole purpose is to guide someone's actions so they can get something done successfully. That's it. So, what's the secret sauce for writing instructions that actually work? Well, it all comes down to 3 essential building blocks. It doesn't matter if you're writing a recipe or a manual for a spaceship, these 3 components are the foundation for any good set of instructions. And here they are, the 3 magic ingredients for any great how-to: the goal, the materials, and the steps. It's a simple formula, but it is incredibly powerful. Let's break down each one real quick. First up, the goal. This is as simple as it gets. It's basically just the title. It's the what of your procedure. A title like Easy Fried Rice Recipe tells you exactly what you're setting out to accomplish. No confusion. Next, you've got the materials. This is your what you'll need list. And this part is so important. We've all been there, right? You're halfway through a recipe and you realize you're missing a key ingredient. The materials section is what's supposed to save you from that frustration. And finally, we have the steps. This is where the action happens. It's the sequence of things you need to do to get from your starting point to your goal. And as you can see from any recipe, the order is absolutely everything. Get one step wrong, and you could end up with something very different. Okay, so now that we know the 3 core components of a procedure, let's see how they pop up in the real world. You're going to be surprised how often you see this exact pattern once you know to look for it. Just look at these 2 examples. On one side, we have instructions for bathing a baby. On the other, how to use a washing machine. I mean, 2 totally different tasks, right? But if you look closely, they both follow the same goal, materials, step structure. The blueprint is exactly the same. And this table just drives the point home perfectly. Whether you're making something ancient like salted eggs or doing something modern like using an ATM, the underlying structure is identical. It's this simple, universal framework that makes it so easy for us to learn how to do new things. But, it's not just about having the right structure. The words you choose are just as important. Think about it. You can have the perfect blueprint, but if the language is confusing or unclear, the whole thing just falls apart. The real secret to clear instructions is to use strong, direct action verbs. These are called imperatives, and they're basically little commands that tell you exactly what to do. Words like insert, mix, press, or wash. They're short, they're direct, and there's no room for guessing. So here's your linguistic toolkit for writing great instructions. First, use those action verbs. Then, guide the user with words that show order, like first, then, and finally. Keep your phrasing simple and clear, no jargon. And a big one, stick to one single action per step. It's a pretty simple recipe for success. So, after all this, why does it matter so much? Well, because clear instructions can make a huge difference in our lives. They can save us time, a ton of frustration, and sometimes even money. And I absolutely love this quote. It is so true. When you write clear instructions for someone, you're not just giving them information, you're actually empowering them. You're giving them the ability to do something new, something they couldn't do before. And really, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Clear instructions lead to confidence, success, and efficiency. But vague instructions, they just lead to confusion, mistakes, and a whole lot of wasted time. The choice is pretty clear. So the next time you find yourself writing an email to a colleague or even just a simple to-do list, remember that simple, powerful framework we talked about today: goal, materials, and steps. And I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's one thing you know how to do that you could explain more clearly to empower someone else?